Recently, the idea of time has been on my mind. And I recently purchased a camera, and I now understand that a camera can be used as a tool to tell a story. You see, to me, life is like a flowing river. And we are all on this raft that is moving slowly downstream. And as we go past each bend in the river, we cannot go back to what's in the past. We only have the moment that we have right then and there. And so, to me, a camera is something that can help capture and help remember something, some vast moment in the past distance. And so I wanted to create a journal using this camera that I now purchased. I wanted to create this journal mostly for myself, and I also wanted to create it for my children and perhaps for future posterity. Now I will be talking as if I'm speaking to myself 50 years down the road, or as if I'm speaking to perhaps some great-grandchild who has no idea who I am. Now with that said, this is a very basic introduction to who I am. So I was born in 1994 in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I come from a very good and overall strong family. My parents are good people. My father was born in 1959, and he was born in a small town called St. Ignatius, Montana. My mother was born in 1961. She was born in Virginia, but she comes from a military family, so she moved all over the country. Now, speaking good of my parents, these are people who, even through thick and through thin, they have stayed together and they have tried to make a good life overall for us kids. With that, moving forward, I did have a normal childhood, and I had a good and normal childhood. I did grow up in a very religious family, and being in a religious family, there are many good things and there are also many hard things. In high school, I went to high school in Bountiful, Utah. During that time, football was a large part of my life. And then moving forward, I attended school, BYU, Idaho, for 1 year. And immediately after that, I became a missionary for the LDS Church, for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And for those of you who do not know, a mission is 2 years. And I served 6 months of my mission in Boston, and then I served a year and a half in Brazil. And being a missionary was something that changed me in many, many ways. In some ways good, and in some ways not the best. But one thing that it did teach me the importance of kindness, the importance of being kind to other people. And it also taught me a little bit about responsibility and perhaps hard work. So upon returning home from my mission, I attended BYU in Provo, Brigham Young University, and I did pursue a few careers, but ultimately I decided to pursue my dream of becoming a pilot, pursuing aviation. And just like many things in my life, the choice to pursue aviation has been a big blessing, but it also has brought some challenges. So, moving forward, during the end of my flight training and right before I took my first job as a pilot, I met my now spouse, Lauren. We met during COVID, the peak of COVID in 2020, and immediately after meeting her, I took my first job as flying pipeline in Midland, Texas, where I flew for 1 year, and directly after that, I was blessed to get hired by the airlines, and I flew for SkyWest. And I only flew for SkyWest for a year and a half, and then again, I was extremely fortunate and extremely blessed, and I was hired by Hawaiian Airlines, and that's where I am today. I do want to make a note that my wife, Lauren, has been with me through all of these moments of my various jobs in aviation. Now, because I got hired by Hawaiian Airlines, we moved to Hawaii, and this also, coming to Hawaii, marks a very large change in my life where I again experienced many changes. my fundamental values and my beliefs, many of those did change, and that was a large part due to the culture of Hawaii. So me and my wife, we got engaged in the summer of 2023, and then we got married in the fall of 2023. Nine months after we got married, our son Jagger came into the world. And then 10.5 months after Jagger came into the world, our daughter was born. Her name is Sol. And again, these are some of the most basic things about me. Now, some other brief things about myself is that I highly value the idea that we are all responsible for our own choices in life. And I also believe in the importance of being kind to others. And I believe that we all have the responsibility to try and make the world a better place. Another thing that I highly value is just the beauty of nature. Now, I'll try and share more personal things about myself later. And I do want to emphasize that I will try and be as honest as possible as I am making these journals. And finally, I do want to say that I am by no means a perfect man. I am not a perfect person, but I am striving to become better each day, and I am striving to become more strong. Now, I wanted to create this just as an intro to my own life and an intro to the fact that I will be creating these journals. That's all I have to say. So thank you again for listening. That's all.